Welcome to Heartglow CEO, where high achievers evolve into purpose-driven powerhouses. I'm Casey Rossi, your integrative leadership coach. Join us to break free from people-pleasing and burnout, exploring mindset, embodiment, and soul alignment. Discover expert insights, success stories, and actionable tips for holistic wealth on your terms. This is where transformation meets the modern female leader. Let's go. Hey, beautiful soul. I'm so glad you're here. I have to take a moment and say thank you. One of you recently shared that mine is the only podcast that you keep refreshing to check for new episodes. I can't even tell you how much that means to me. Truly, this space exists because of you. So today, I promise to make it worth your listen. We're diving into a topic that touches every part of your life and business, the art of communication. Now, this isn't just about speaking clearly or writing the perfect email. This is deeper. This is about energetic integrity, clarity of intention, and cultivating connection in a way that feels aligned with your soul's purpose. Let's start with a truth bomb. You are always communicating. Whether you say something out loud or not, you are in constant communication through body language, tone, energy, presence, and absence. And here's the thing, most of us don't realize. Many of us are unaware of how we're communicating our needs, or if we're even communicating them at all. It's not uncommon for women, especially those in service-oriented roles like coaches, healers, and spiritual entrepreneurs, to internalize a belief that our needs are secondary, or that others should just know what we need without us saying a word. Sound familiar? Before I go into tips on improving communication, and I'm going to give you some tips, I'm going to share a personal experience that just happened yesterday that landed in the bucket of lack of communication. I tried a new hairstylist, one that I researched, poured through her reviews, and waited 6 weeks until her fully booked calendar had an opening. I brought 4 reference images of what I was looking for and mentioned that I liked edgier styles. Well, the long and the short, very short of it, is I got scalped. I mean, sign me up for the army, scalped. I specifically went to her because she was a curly girl specialist. What I got is more like no hair. I cannot even pull the strands away from the back of my head. I, of course, was in shock. I sat still in my car after I left the salon, and I just was still for a minute. And because it's an occupational hazard, I reviewed my part of the situation because, accountability and all. Was it because I said I liked edgy and she heard edges? Were the photos not uniform enough for her to get a sense of where my boundaries might be? I really don't know what happened, but I do know moving forward, I will be more impeccable with my word and very clear with my boundaries. More on both of that later. So if you fall into they're the expert or my supervisor or my partner and they should just know, I want to look at flipping that thinking because many times it can get us very disappointing results. Step 1 is all about awareness because any change work, any transformation must begin with awareness. Before we can master communication, we must first notice it. Ask yourself, how am I currently communicating? Am I being clear or hinting? This is a really big one because I think a lot of us dance around the nucleus or drop seeds in hope that the other person is just going to know and pick it up. We'll just give them a little hint. The third one is, am I expressing needs or suppressing them? And if you know my work at all, you know that I'm a big fan of using our whole soma. Coming out of this above the chin living, so breaking out of the box of our mind and thinking our way through things, and actually living chin down and asking our body, how does it feel? And I know you know what it feels like when you have something to say and you squish it down. Maybe it is a lump in your throat, tightness in your chest, or a pit in your stomach. These are all wonderful clues of wisdom that you're suppressing something. So in this aspect of being very intentional and having this more tuned in awareness, make sure to include your whole body in the conversation. And the last one is, am I speaking from a wound or from wisdom? This fourth one is really something that we may not be conscious of. Because let's face it, we have issues in our tissues. And if it is an unconscious wound, we may not realize, especially in the moment, if we're speaking from a wound or from wisdom, especially if we're fast and that could be processing fast or rushed. But I think a lot of times for me personally, when I am not slowing down, I can be very unconscious and not be tuned into that last point. So just a quick example. One of my clients recently said that she was resentful that her team wasn't taking more initiative. And when we dug into it, she realized she never clearly expressed what she needed. She assumed that they'd intuit what she meant by own your role. Here's where it gets fascinating. Your words are filtered through their lens. We think we're being clear, but communication is always filtered through the other person's values, experiences, culture, trauma, and I think a big one is presence. Are they even there, or do they have one eye in their phone? Neuroscience backs this up. According to research in the Journal of Neuroscience, our brains fills in the blanks during conversations. The listener isn't just hearing what we say. They're subconsciously editing based on their pre-existing beliefs and memories. That's why the same sentence can land so differently with two people. And I really feel that's what happened between the stylist and myself. I think when she interacted with me and she heard the word edgy, she filtered it through her own paradigms or mental frameworks or what she had that was like pattern matching to the word edgy. And that overlaid into what she gave me, even though it was so very different than what I had in my mind's eye. This is why clarity is not just kind, it's essential. Don Miguel Ruiz's first agreement in the 4 agreements. Have you read that one? I'm a big fan. But it is be impeccable with your word. It's more than just speaking kindly or avoiding gossip, though both are powerful practices. Be impeccable means being in integrity with your word. It means saying what you mean and only what you mean. I love communication. I think that there is so much room for growth no matter how far down the journey you go. It's for me, it's super interesting. I think it's a beautiful subject. But one of the things when we're thinking about being impeccable with our word, it means avoiding double meanings. It means avoiding sarcasm that tends to confuse. I know sarcasm can be a coping mechanism. It can cover a different emotion that you're truly feeling just to get it out. But it's also very confusing. And I think it's an immature way to communicate, to be honest. The other thing to look out for is coded language rooted in fear or avoidance. Again, this may be a little bit more in the unconscious or subconscious category, but it's something to just be really aware of now. We're shining a light on it, and impeccability aligns your inner truth with your inner voice. And for spiritual entrepreneurs, this kind of energetic congruence is magnetic. Your audience, clients, and team will feel it. They will trust you more. They will be drawn to your authenticity. Can you remember a time when you heard someone and then it just felt like truth? Your questioning mind was silent and your heart just knew? I love it when it happens. I do. I love that. So let's remember, communication is not just a transaction. It's an energy exchange. In every interaction, we are either fueling connection or draining it. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling lit up and inspired? That's because the exchange was open, clean, and likely filled with honesty and presence. On the flip side, when you leave a conversation feeling off, it's usually because something was left unsaid, misunderstood, or emotionally misaligned. This is where energetic hygiene and communication comes in. Before a conversation, ask yourself, what is my intention? Am I calm and centered? What energy am I bringing into this space? These 3 questions will also serve you before you post on social media. Ask yourself, what's your intention? Am I calm and centered? What energy am I bringing into this space? And whether this is live in person or on social, ground yourself. Even one conscious breath can shift your frequency from a reaction to a response. And you're going to see such a difference with this simple shift. One of the most compassionate things you can do for yourself and others is say what you mean. This doesn't mean being blunt or harsh. It means choosing clarity over assumption. It's not, let's circle back sometime. It's, I'd love to connect next week. How's Thursday afternoon? How many times have you heard someone or said, we should get together? It's so classic. And how many times does it ever really happen? Not so much. Be specific. As they say, when you ink it, it is real. So if you really do want to catch up with someone, get it on the calendar, even if it's a month out. Because this is where trust also gets built with yourself and with others. And if you don't mean it, don't say it. Remember, boundaries are beautiful. They allow our relationships, personal and professional, to thrive. All right, the other half of communicating is listening. Let's not forget, communication isn't just about speaking. True mastery involves deep listening. And I don't mean the kind of listening where you're silently rehearsing your reply. I mean full presence, open mind, open heart. I want you to just take a breath right there with me. Full presence, open mind, open heart. According to research from the Harvard Business Review, the average person listens only 25% efficiency. That's a lot of missed nuance, emotion, and meaning. If you're only listening at a 25% efficiency, I feel like it's such a missed opportunity for connection, and it's really a disrespect to the relationship. Listening deeply allows you to hear between the lines, catch the emotional undercurrent, and build trust. As a coach, this is everything, and as a conscious leader, it is your superpower. I have to admit, I have high expectations for listening, and oftentimes I'm disappointed even with my closest crew. I'm in a book club and we're reading an oldie but goodie, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I underlined, if you see a reoccurring pattern, it's a thought pattern in you. And when I later reflected and wrote in my journal, a reoccurring pattern that I often think is that no one really listens to me. And when I connected the back half of that thought pattern starts with me, hoo-ah, that is a deep, deep concept. I'll leave you with this. Communication at its highest level is soul transmission. When you strip away the fluff, the jargon, the scripts, what's left is your essence, your presence, your truth. Let your soul speak through your words, your silence, your actions, your energy. And trust that when you communicate from that place, the right people will hear you, even if it's not everyone. Because you are not here to speak to everyone. You are here to speak to your people, the ones who resonate with your heart and your mission. So to wrap it all up, 1, be aware of how you're showing up. 2, be impeccable with your word. 3, communicate your needs clearly. 4, listen like your relationships depend on it, because they do. And 5, let your soul do the talking. This recipe with these 5 ingredients will bake the most beautiful life in business. So put on your chef's hat and get cooking, my friend, because masterpieces await. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your presence here means the world to me. If today's episode resonated with you, share it with a sister, a colleague, a fellow spiritual entrepreneur. These are the conversations that ripple out and create change. And hey, if no one has told you today, you are powerful and your voice matters. Until next time, my friend, breathe joy.